Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. So for this tutorial we'll need our needle and thread, we'll need our fabric, we'll need our tape roll, and of course we need our rule for measuring. So let's dive right into this tutorial. So right here I have my fabric cut out already. I'll be illustrating using this fabric and the measurement is 25 inches length by 25 inches breadth, 25 by 25, and I have here 1 inches drawn out till I got to the end. If you're not familiar with this, I'll leave a link in the description where you can watch it. So right now on the lines that I have ruled out, I'm going to sew on it till I get to the end. I'm just going to pick it up one after the other and sew on it till I get to the end of this fabric. And once I'm done, I'll have something like this right here. Okay, so once I'm done, this is what I'll have. This is the front of the turban after sewing on the lines that I drew, and this is what it looks like. And for the back, this is it, the inner part of it, of the fabric. This is what it looks like after sewing on the lines. All right, so I'm just going to keep this aside and get right into cutting my band. For my band, I have cut out 22 inches length, 22 inches length, and then the width for the band is 4 inches. So it is basically 22 inches length by 4 inches width. So I'm going to fold this into two this way. I'm going to fold my band into two like this, and once I fold it into two, I'm also going to go ahead and fold it again this way so that I can get the midpoint of my band. With my scissors, I'm going to go ahead and notch the midpoint of the band. So this is going to help connecting the band to my fabric easy. Okay, so now that I have notched the midpoint, I am going to go over to my fabric now, bring my fabric here now, and I'm going to fold my fabric into two like this, and with my scissors I'm going to notch the midpoint. Now that I'm done notching it, I'm just going to go ahead and keep my fabric aside. Now I'm going to get my fabric for my loop, and the measurement I have for this loop is 5 inches length. The length of it is 5 inches, and the width of the loop of my loop is 3 inches. So 5 inches by 3 inches. I'm going to go ahead and fold it into two, and then I'm going to stitch it. And once I'm done stitching, I'll turn it inside out. So I'll turn it to the good face once I'm done. Right here I am done stitching, and this is what I have. I'm just going to keep this aside. Let's get right to our fabric and our band. Right now, here is the fabric that we notched the middle. So here is my band also. I'm just going to be connecting my band to the fabric this way, midpoint touching midpoint, as you can see, midpoint on midpoint. And my band, I'm going to place them well, arrange them properly on both sides like this. I'm going to sew by 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew, and I'm going to go ahead and sew, and I'm going to leave a space at the middle this way. So I'm not completely sewing everything. I'm just going to sew side by side. Let me sew and show you. This is it. I am done sewing. I'm done sewing it, and this is it. I left a space of about 1 inch at the middle. You would understand why this is necessary, because I will need to connect my loop, and this is what the front looks like. Still yet I have that space in the middle. Okay, now here is where my loop comes in handy. For some people, they might decide to insert their loop and sew it here, and others also would also go with this method of just connecting the loop this way from the band this way. Okay, and then they're going to go ahead and sew on all sides of the turban like this. All right, but here we're using another method which I find nicer. So simply we're going to take our loop and insert it into the middle, the midpoint that we created. And we're going to be leaving about 1 inch outside the loop, like you're pushing in your loop by 1 inch, and then you're just going to sew the loop together with the band and the fabric. So now I am done sewing my loop and my fabric, and this is what I have. I'm sure you can see what we have. So the next thing we're going to do now is just bring in our fabric close this way and then join the loops together like this. I'm sure you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and sew it, and once I'm done sewing, I would trim off the excess. So I am done sewing. Clearly you can see I like to make mine firmer. Okay, so I'm done sewing the loop together, and I'm just going to trim off the excess that I have on my loop. So now this is what we have, as you can see. So this is it. This is what it looks like. This is it. So we're not going all the way through the band, we're just connecting it in between the band and the fabric, and this is what we have. So I'm just going to go ahead and arrange my fabric like this and bring them together this way. And when I bring it together this way, I'm going to go ahead and sew all sides till I get to the end this way, and I'm going to sew and stop there. Okay, now I am done sewing. I have sewn all sides of my fabric. The next thing I'm going to do now is using my needle and my thread. As always, I'm going to go ahead and sew loose stitches till I get to this point. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sew it now. From this place, I'll go ahead and sew loose stitches gently and neatly till I get to the end of the fabric. Okay guys, if you have been watching and you have come this far, kindly hit the like button. It costs nothing to just like my video, and if you have not subscribed, kindly do so. Okay, so I am repeating the process. After sewing loose stitches, I'm just going to go over and repeat it and tie to have a firmer stitch. So right now I am done. I'm just going to use my scissors to cut out my excess thread. And this is what our finished product looks like. This is what it looks like when you turn it inside out. Okay, this is it. This is our turban, our pleated turban right here. This is the front. This is how well seated it is. Look at our loop right here. This is it. This is your band. This is your loop here. Okay, and this is what the back looks like. Back of our turban looks like. So we're done creating this pleated turban right here. The next thing we're going to do is just to create our ruffles now. Ruffles by the side. Remember, you can use this, you can rock this like this as a simple turban. So if you're looking to create a very simple turban, you can use this like this. So let's just go over to creating ruffles by the sides. For now, we're done with this turban. Okay, for our ruffles, I have my fabric here. I have a satin fabric that I'm working with, and the measurement is about 58 inches. So 58 inches, you can make it 60, whichever way you want. The length is 58 and the width is 7 inches. So basically, I'm working with 58 inches by 7 inches. Okay, 58 length and 7 inches width. So right now, I'm going to fold my fabric into two this way. All right, I'm going to fold it into two this way, and I'm going to sew from the start of it till I get to the very end of my fabric. I am done sewing it. This is what I have after sewing it. I'm just going to go over and turn it inside out. You can decide to use a safety pin to turn it inside out, but I just decided to use my hands to turn it inside out. Now I am done turning it inside out, and here is our fabric. It's on the good face. I'll keep this aside now. I'll keep it aside and I'll cut another fabric. I have another fabric cut out and the measurement is 1 inch. The width is 1 inch and the length is about 30 inches. So you can make this longer. This is just so that I can insert it into my already sewn fabric right here. So I'm using a safety pin. I'm inserting a safety pin into this piece of fabric to make it easy when I'm pushing it in, when I'm pushing the fabric into the other fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and push in this fabric inside. The safety pin makes it actually easy. So I'm just going to keep pushing it in till I'm able to push in all of the fabric. Now I am done pushing in all of the fabric. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm not going to push it completely in so that I can sew them together like this. I'm just going to fold in this other fabric like this, the way I'm doing it. I'm just going to fold it in neatly. And as you can see, I have folded it in neatly. And I'm just going to go right to my sewing machine and I will sew on it, joining the fabric and this other one in. So I've sewn it now and I've cut out the excess fabric. So now my safety pin and the other fabric is still inside this fabric. I will push it out, locate my safety pin and continue to push it outside of this other fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and push out my safety pin. I'm done pushing out my safety pin now and the other fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and arrange my fabric. So this is the process of creating the ruffle. You can just go on and create your ruffle the way you want it. If you want it put together, if you want them separate, not so close to each other, you can just go ahead and arrange it. So now I'm going to repeat the process I did the first time. Repeat it, folding my fabric this way. I'm going to fold in my fabric like this and I'm going to sew on it. Okay, just fold in my fabric and then sew on it like this. And once I'm done, I'll cut out the excess fabric. So let's go ahead and sew it. Here I am done sewing and I have cut out the excess fabric and this is the ruffle that I have. So I put them together like this because I want them close this way. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is just to attach my ruffle to my turban, my already pleated turban that we made. So I'm going to put it really close to my band area like this, and with my needle and thread I am going to sew on it. I'm going to tack it neatly from under. Okay, you can decide to create invisible stitches, and just neatly sew this from under, tack on the sides one after the other. Okay, just how I'm doing it here. So I am done doing the first two sides. I'm just going to go ahead and arrange and then tack the remaining sides till I get to this end right here, this point right here. And so once I do that, my turban will be ready and it would look like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like. Right here, I am done tacking all of the sides. I am done tacking all of the sides. Tacked this place, tacked this place, tacked this place, tacked till I got to the end. And this is what I have. Isn't it beautiful? This is beautiful. This is beautiful, and this is what it looks like on my mannequin head, guys. This is absolutely beautiful. So this is what my ruffles look like, and this is what the turban looks like. So if you find this tutorial helpful, if you got value, kindly like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.